Right, I have to record this again because I didn't switch my microphone on. So, tip number 2. Right, so there was a question by a viewer about how I upgraded my suspension. So, we'll start with the front, I think. No, we'll start with the back. The back doesn't have the original shock that Honda gave it. It now has, well, it has a Maxton shock made in the UK. Essentially, the spring that was in it was too weak, so I had to buy a new shock. Cost about £100 from Maxton. They sent it in the post. It was quite easy to change the spring on the shock. I didn't need compressors or anything like that because the collar that goes up here goes all the way up, and when you slacken this off, at a certain point it releases itself from the shock collar, the shock spring, sorry. And what happens then is you can take the shock out, and you can take it out through the bike, out of the seat, because in the battery bay itself there's a metal plate that's in kind of like a V shape, like that, and it gives you enough room to take the whole shock out the body of the bike. Once the shock is out, you turn it upside down, and on the bottom of the shock here, this bit here, this collar here is pressed down onto a C-clip that's on this central column bit here. And when the spring is offloaded, you can basically pull that back, take the C-clip out, and then this collar will just drop and the spring will come off with it. Put the new one on, put the collar back in, put the C-clip on, and then just essentially tighten down that collar until it seats, and then you just tighten up the preload to set the sag. And that's all I did for the back shock. The previous owner was much lighter than me, so I had to get a new spring. The spring itself cost about £100 from Maxton. I think that's it. No, the compression on that, you'll have to check whichever model you get, but on Maxton shocks, the compression adjuster, oddly, is on the bottom of this main black body, and you can only adjust it while the spring is off, oddly. Yeah, I know. But I set that up. I'm happy with it, so I never have to do that again. I might at some point send it off to Maxton to get it revalved. I think the oil in it is 7.5, and it should be probably 10 for my weight because of the stronger spring that's in it. I mean, the compression was set at 3, and it's got 12 or 13 clicks on it. So at the moment it's at 10. So it's pretty extreme in the adjustment. The front forks, I didn't take them off the bike. All I did was just change the springs. Same again, the springs on it were too soft. All I did was I backed out the preload first, and then undid these 2 bolts here, and then essentially took one off at a time, this one first, undid it, pulled it out. The bike sank a little bit, so I was able to get into, basically there's a rod that goes from here all the way down to the bottom, and there's a nut that holds this top part to the dampening rod that's down in there. Undid that, and I was able to pull that off, take the washer out and the spring, and then basically put in the new heavier spring into it, and then basically just put it all back in again. If you take the spring out very slowly, you don't lose any oil, and if you do, it's like a teaspoon. So I did that one, and then when I did this one, I prepared for the whole bike to just drop forward. She's got a main stand on her, so you just need to be careful of that. It was a bit backyardish. I didn't want to take the whole shocks off and everything like that. But once that one was done, basically pulled the bike back up, and then basically screw them back in, nip them up. And then the preload, because there were stronger springs on, you can see the normal adjustment by Honda. I think it's the second ring or the second line down. You can see there I've got 4, and that basically was the suspension upgrade I did. Well, there we go. Any questions, just let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. Cheers.